Thanks, Earl. Hi, everyone. I'm here this morning with Tanis Fishman. Tanis, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
We just spent the last kind of half hour, 45 minutes chatting and getting to know each other a little bit. And while Tanis is up to some really cool stuff. What I get from our conversation is that we really connect in the area of wanting to help, not wanting to, actually helping people to find that space inside of them where, you know, the connect with the nothingness, connect with the openness, connect with, through meditation, to, you know, find the, I like to call it the power within, but, you know, the that's beyond the ego, beyond, you know, the beautiful mind.
Yeah.
And that's what you do, isn't it?
I do. Yeah, I think so.
So Tanis tells me that she's been doing it for a long time, and it's sometimes hard to be actually here in you know, like, oh gosh, I have to dress these kids.
Yeah, that's my struggle, is feeding my children.
Damn. Didn't somebody pay the lights?
Yes.
That's totally me. Fuck.
Yeah.
His phone's not working. Can you relate?
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it not working? And yeah. So
Yeah.
the practical sometimes is.
Yes, I find practical life very challenging.
Yeah.
And yeah, just being in the role of motherhood is definitely where my main growing edge is.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
So your kids have come to be your teachers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have
In a strong force.
two boys.
I have a 8-year-old and an almost 2-year-old.
What did you call them?
The oldest one is Ramon. Yeah.
Sweet.
And the youngest one is Moses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's come to change my consciousness.
Well, you picked a powerful name.
He picked it.
Did he?
He picked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 I picked David. Just a side story, but
Yeah.
my name was my mother called me Keith,
Oh, okay.
but my name is actually David Keith. And when I turned 40, I just realized that Keith was done.
Ah.
And
yeah.
I was away in a group in Mexico, a consciousness group, and I came back. Just 1 second.
Price?
Oh, I don't know, $30. Somebody wants to buy something. We love them buying something. There's a little practical going on at the same time.
It happens,
I
right?
just made that up. Unless she wants to pay less.
It's free. Just take it.
Or more.
That would be me. That's why I'm not working in your store. Don't hire me.
Okay, I wasn't planning. We're going to collaborate, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
I'll sell the free stuff.
Yeah. Bring your friends. I do that too, right? I do give stuff
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I do too.
Which is fine. So cool for you, Moses and
Moses and Ramon.
Ramon. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ramon's kind of like Eastern European, French.
Spanish.
Italian, Spanish?
Yeah, Spanish.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a strong name. He's got a strong will.
He's a kick-ass hockey player.
He's definitely into it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's into it. He works hard.
Yeah, I remember when
Yeah.
I was 8, and my ankles would all be bent over, and I was
Yeah.
trying to, you know, I wanted to. It's hard when you're a little guy and you want to look good on the ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you know.
And your parents don't tie your skates tight enough.
Yeah.
And they expect you to stand on the ice.
Yeah,
you know?
perform.
Yeah.
Well, parenting. The same thing happened for me. I was much, you know, like I was younger when I had my first little girl, and I was 25, and she was clearly came to teach and brought me to attention really fast. It was like, holy shit, I have to do something. You know, like I'm not prepared. I hadn't even gone to school. You know, I partied. I was a partier.
Yeah.
I was really good at it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I wasn't that good at it,
Yeah.
but I tried.
Yeah.
And so kids are great, aren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, it'll pass.
I hope so.
We'll
Praying.
get systems,
Yeah.
or help,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
help is good.
Yeah. I've learned to reach out.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Get some girls to move in.
Seriously, I need a woman tribe in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And community is
Totally.
is great.
Yeah.
So you've been teaching yoga for 15 years, and then you discovered Yogananda.
Yoga Nidra.
Yoga Nidra. Yogananda was another guy.
Yogananda is
Autobiography of Yogi.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, a very
An old classic.
He was a powerful presence on this earth. Yeah.
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 It's funny, just an aside. So that book, sorry.
Yeah, but I'd love to talk. Yeah, that book is a powerful book.
That book in my 20s, and then again just recently, last year. It was like, wow, the book has changed so much. How did that happen?
Yeah.
But I remember reading it in my 20s. It was like it was like an adventure book.
Yeah.
And discovering this is the Autobiography of a Yogi.
Yes.
But a great book. And,
excellent book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you read?
I do read. I read that book years and years ago, and I just actually very recently, listened to it on Audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Audible.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a listener.
Yeah, I'm totally hooked on Audible. I have like 3 books, and I have the Bhagavad Gita on Audible from Michael Singer, and is it Michael Singer that did it? I think, or another guy. It's gone out of my mind for a moment, but Mitchell. Anyway.
I know Michael Singer. He did Untethered Soul. And
yes,
all that. Yeah.
And the Surrender Experiment.
Yeah, that was a good book too.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, we can all learn from that.
But I love
to surrender.
On the Audible. I have the Bhagavad Gita, and you can just kind of open it anywhere, and it's
a timeless teaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. So with the Yogananda.
Yoga Nidra. I'm gonna write that down for you.
That's awesome. It's a gateway to the depths of meditation.
Meditation, yes. I would say, so for those who aren't familiar with the teaching of Yoga Nidra, it's the sleep of the yogi, and the practice, it's a practice and it's a state of consciousness. So the actual practice of it is guided by a teacher, and the practitioner is lying down in Shavasana. So even just that posture, it's not a formal seated meditative posture where the spine isn't erect. So you're lying down, and the benefit of that is that everyone and anyone can really practice it. And also the physical discomfort of sitting for a long period of time is relieved. So you can get...
Unless you have one of my stools.
Yes, exactly. So you can get into very expansive inner states of awareness, where you're not fixated still on the physical body, and then you can have that inner experience where you taste something that you taste the stillness and the silence that is always present. It's just it's being overwhelmed by distraction, and so I would say Yoga Nidra it can lead to meditation, but it's a wonderful preparatory practice for meditation, where you skillfully learn to consciously relax your body, which is an ingredient for meditation, is to release and let go of tension. And to do release and let go of tension, you have to let go of thought. And letting go of thought is letting go of your past. So you have to surrender yourself into the unknown, into the mystery of the present moment time. And so, I would say it's a wonderful practice for.
And that's where all
for
the
people
trouble
getting into it.
begins. Because when we're here, we forget about the stuff we're supposed to do.
I know, that's why, I could sit here all day and then I forget to feed my children,
I know.
you know? The meditation
I
for
say
me
that
is,
tongue-in-cheek, but
it's true for us, I know. Yeah, you and I wouldn't be a good partnership in the store. We would just hang out in here.
No, we need Michelle.
We need somebody who has a brain.
Yeah, looks after the details.
Totally.
Yeah.
But that's,
But we're good vision people.
Yeah.
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 I have vision.
Yeah, and we're present.
Yeah.
And
I do affirmations,
mhm.
and I don't do affirmations to speak it into existence, like some folks
Yeah.
do affirmations. I do affirmations to remind myself of what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
That here's the vision. Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then and how I'd like to live in love
Yes,
and
yes.
have a stack of them.
There's a concept like that in Yoga Nidra, which is called Sankalpa. That's
Mhm.
actually the name of my school, is School of Sankalpa. And
How do you spell it?
Sankalpa.
Nice.
Yeah. And the Sankalpa is, San is truth, and Kalpa is vow. So it's a vow,
Mhm.
your vow towards your highest truth. And your Sankalpa is stated when the mind is quiet and the body is relaxed. It's also when you're in the brain wave associated with that would be an alpha brain state. And so it's going into the depths of your subconscious mind, which is landing deep into the cellular structure of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And some people see it as, yes, like a affirmation or it's a reprogramming, but I feel it's a reminder of your direction towards that which is of the highest again.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not being controlled by the ego or the senses,
Mm-hmm.
but you're walking towards the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that reminder of what are we doing here,
Mm-hmm.
and again just to keep us in that direction towards the divine. So yeah, it's a similar concept, and the teaching is it's the sankalpa of the baby to grow into a full expression of an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm losing my thought as my brain is. What's an oak tree seed?
An oak tree seed.
I love that. Okay. So
seed of an oak tree.
I totally just lost my thought. But anyway, I love that. But it's the seed of an oak tree.
Mm-hmm. Grows into
that
an oak tree.
That grows into an oak tree. So it's our destiny to realize our own divinity, and so that's the sankalpa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No matter how many lifetimes we have to come back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are a little bit slower.
I know. I feel like I'm in that crowd. But then again, we're.
Oh, acorn.
An
it
acorn.
Just came, see, I just have to
Yes,
let it go, and
that's
it comes
great.
acorn.
Yeah, an acorn, seed of an oak tree. Yes, and the whole world opens out of that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fun. So, when you're helping people find that space inside of them, do you guide them into it?
So I can do what I can to guide people. Essentially, it's like taking care of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, babysitting the mind.
Nice.
Yeah, giving it a focal point to focus on. That
Keeping the mind busy while we slip by.
Yeah, or just like giving it a stronger,
Yeah.
a stronger anchor than the craziness
Mm-hmm.
of the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like walking somebody up to the temple doors,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't take them in.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you can teach meditative techniques, but you can't teach meditation, like.
Nice.
so I can do what I can to get them
I like that.
to a door, and then but the door's always open.
Yes.
You know.
Well, yeah.
The door's always open. So.
Always opens from whatever side you're on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cat Stevens.
Yeah. And and there's so many different ways to guide. Yoga Nidra is it's very guided, so people find that a little bit easier in terms of allowing them the awareness to eventually disassociate from the senses and the mind to rest in silence.
So it seems like what's happened for us is that I thought I was going to get in the business of helping people create meditation spaces, and I guess I am. But what's happened is that the focus is more about helping people see the why. Why should they go through the door into a meditative state? And so that's without it being necessarily on a spiritual path.
Yeah.
Because everything's spiritual in a way. There's no separation, but if folks' mind have a block up around, well, yes, but I'm this spiritual belief, so I can't do this. So I want to open the door really wide that it'll enhance whatever it is, whatever's happening in their life.
Yeah.
And if they're an NHL hockey player, they'll be a better hockey player because they meditate. If they're a CEO of a large corporation and they're meditating, they'll be more present in everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's, obviously if people are coming to your class, they're going to discover their power, their depth.
It's echoing.
You do that a lot.
So what we need is we need the why for the practical world.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not. I think somebody can look after that.
Yeah.
So I really think that this is, in a way, this is how. I think we're blessed to be chosen to do this work. That.
I think everyone's blessed to do the work that they're doing.
Yes.
And everyone has their own unique.
Aren't we better than them?
Spot.
No, we're just kidding.
Depends who you're asking. I guess.
Yeah.
What about? I would say the ones that come to my classes. A lot of them come for the practical benefits, and there's it's endless.
Yes.
And I can speak on the practical benefits. Just being in family life, I don't get much sleep at night. My little one's up 2-3 times a night.
Melatonin.
Yeah, I just got to drug him. But I do Yoga Nidra during the day.
Yeah.
And that's been a savior.
Yeah.
Because it's equivalent, so 30 to 45 minutes of Yoga Nidra is equivalent to about 4 hours of deep sleep. So that's what's kept me going, honestly.
That's a deal.
It restores your it restores your prana, your energy, so that you can continue. So that's on a really practical level. Also, having that time to pause and allow the awareness to turn inwards and be in a less distracted state and rest in the stillness. That the benefits of that is there's more clarity brought when you re-engage in the world. There's inner peace. There's more understanding for the human condition.
Compassion.
There's compassion is develops out of that stillness, and and also when you're in it, when you're in these challenging states and really identified with the emotional system, the way that that turns into wisdom is when you bring it inside and into the quiet. And when you're not identified with your emotional state, then it's wisdom, and now you can relate to other people and you don't judge anymore. Parenthood has been the big teacher of non-judgment. I will not ever judge a parent, ever. You know, like,
or anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's that's had a really profound effect on me. Yeah, so there's so many practical benefits, and that I think underneath it all, the quiet whisper of the soul is what many people are longing for, you know, and but we have to address the immediate concern, which is most likely that we feel stressed. You know, I think we're just a stressed out society, and we need an inner resource that is not changing. Like, we're in such overwhelming times right now. What can you trust? What can you anchor into when there's no security? So for me,
well,
that inner space
yes.
of you know, consciousness itself is what's become just my inner resource of security. You know?
Yeah. There is, I think that a combination of self-knowledge, like when I read David Hawkins, you know, Hawkins really walks us through what and labels everything really nicely, and it has depth to it, you know, and so we get to know what's going on in our bodies, you know, when we're feeling an emotion, and Hawkins, you know, teaches us how to let it surface, and, you know, not to repress it, not to suppress it, not to act out, and not to escape, you know, and to just, oh, okay, feel that emotion, and then to let it go. And I think those exercises are amazing, and I think that can happen if you're laying on the floor and you're guiding them. They can feel emotion. I'll bet people do, and even start to cry, or to, you know, stuff comes up in there, and so you're the guide. You know, I don't know. You may probably see yourself that way, as the guide.
It's allowing, it's opening up the spaciousness that all is allowed, and when there's allowance without judgment, there's no problem. You know, there's problem when there's no spaciousness and judgment. Yeah,
and judgment often comes from lack of awareness. You know, from you know, fear. And fear comes from lack of consciousness and awareness, and so I think that meditation and the other part of my model, I guess, is lifelong learning. You know, to like the authors we just quoted. I mean, those have been our teachers. And what a great time we live in, that we could have, you know, such great input from people. And, you know, that was, you know, 50 years ago, couldn't find books like that, or if it wasn't so readily available. And now it's all on YouTube.
Yeah, thank God for Audible.
Audibles are great. I know. That's stackable. I want to show you my books. they're in my phone.
Okay.
They're hanging out in there. But they're harder to share. Actually, I've brought people onto my Audible.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
They can go through
I have a list of people on mine. Don't tell Audible.
Shh. I suspect they know that's going on. Well, it's great work. So have you got a teacher training coming up?
There's a few. Yeah, there's a few coming up, and that's thank God for my crew that helped me get that going.
Organized, yeah.
Yeah, because if it was me on my own,
might not happen.
It probably wouldn't happen. So shout out to my team.
What are their names? Even their first names?
Yeah. So there's Heather.
Awesome.
There's Heather Ivany, and there's Lindsay Park, and there's Catherine Nelson Reed.
Nice.
And there is Megan Luther as well. And there's Chrissy Streeper.
Wow, that's a big team.
Yeah, it's a
and
big
they love
team.
you.
I love them.
Mhm.
I hope it's mutual. Yeah.
I'm sure it is. Like, how could they not?
Yeah.
How could they not?
So some teacher trainings come up. It's all on. So I have a website.
Oh.
That took me 15 years.
Yes.
to-
You don't rush into that.
Yeah,
That
so-
internet might not have stayed. It's a fad. Yeah.
Yeah, so the website can be accessed. It's either tanisfishman.com, and that brings you to the school's website, or it's School of Sankalpa, all one word.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a calendar page with upcoming Yoga Nidra training. So when I started Yoga Nidra training, I actually started it running in my basement with, the few that were banging on the door asking to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to grow. So I started to open it and teach in more formal settings. And it was mainly yoga teachers that wanted to teach this practice. And
Nice.
But what I found now is that it's not limited to Yoga Nidra teachers. It's to anyone who wants to study this wisdom teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to be a yoga teacher to have an interest in a calling to consciously relax your body and stay awake, right?
Yes.
You don't have to
No.
be a yoga teacher for that. So we've opened it up to everyone, and to help share this. Like this is a skill that is just so helpful for the human condition right now. And so we have a training coming up in Calgary that's starting in April. It's over 3 weekends, and that draws in like the local crowd. And then we have an immersion retreat. It's the training but condensed into 8 days, and that's a trip. That's a
No pun intended.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's out of town, right?
It is out of town.
Yeah.
It's in Caroline, Alberta.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at a retreat center there.
West of Innisfail.
Is it? I've never
Yes.
been there.
Never been to Caroline?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
so-
up there.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a
think it's-
retreat center in Caroline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So that will
Cool.
call to anyone who wants to get out of the
what's
city,
it
but
called?
also the retreat center.
Yeah.
It's called Sanctum.
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 Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you already got that up somewhere?
Yeah.
that
It's on
event?
it's on the website.
Might be on theirs too.
I don't know actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's on our website, and it's a week immersion, and then we have one in July in Niagara Falls
Nice.
at a retreat center there.
And you're leading
then
these.
I'm leading it with Heather and Lindsay,
Nice.
and the three of us co-facilitate these trainings.
What fun.
It is fun. It's a
Men come?
men absolutely are invited. Yeah, yeah. There's always more women, but
I'll bet.
yeah.
Yep.
But every training we've had really wonderful, beautiful men that have come to just also anchor in the masculine energy into the trainings. Yeah, really, really wonderful men that come. And then we have a training in New Zealand in
Oh my gosh.
in October.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So those are all trainings, and training is more of a commitment. Not only financial commitment, but also a time and a studentship commitment. But we have February 2nd at Yoga Passage, or it's called Passage Studios now. Yeah.
Yes.
I had to get that in. But we have a one-day Yoga Nidra event coming up, and I will be teaching, Heather will be teaching, Lindsay will be teaching, and Catherine will be teaching each a Yoga Nidra. So for somebody that has never experienced Yoga Nidra before, it's a wonderful introduction. You'll receive teachings and 4 practices in the day. And also, those who have experienced Yoga Nidra before, to track 4 practices in one day.
They'll be blissed right out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because you're
Some of you have to carry them home.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because you're accessing the alpha theta brain state, and tracking a lot of timelessness in linear time. And that has a really profound effect. And a lot of health benefits with that, a lot of mental benefits, and increased creativity. And
I bet it would be good for people that are going through early stages of dementia and stuff. That it would be, I mean, anything that gets changes the structure of the mind a bit, you know, would.
Because
bet it would be good for
Yoga
dementia.
Nidra.
I've been reading about that.
Yeah, like the
Trying to remember.
The technique. We'll try it on you and we'll see if it improves. The technique of Yoga Nidra, the stages of it, there's a lot of rotation of consciousness around the body, which is
into
bringing,
the knees,
bringing
into
the
ankles.
bringing the attention and energy into the brain landscape. And so you're bringing it to areas that possibly aren't being touched consciously during the day. And it's a very intelligent practice, but it also is illuminating. It's illuminating the brain state.
So what do you think about doing this, you know, on video so that people could follow this practice at home?
Absolutely. I feel like you're Heather talking to me right now, who's been nudging me for the past few minutes, saying, "Get this more online." I have 4 recordings up on YouTube, and all of my recordings of the practice will always be offered for free. And
always.
Always.
These 4.
Any recording that I do will be offered for free.
But just a second. Just hang on.
Yeah.
So imagine that there's, you know, 300 million people in North America.
Yeah.
And that, and you wanted to get to 1% of them, and you know, which is that because we were talking earlier about what we can do with social media, what we can do with, and that 1% actually would be really more than willing to pay for an introductory, you know, online program. They live in Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
And they're you know, and they're like, yes, I want to get tuned into this, and so they, you know, for, you know, $18 they can, and then, but it actually helps you too, because then it sets you up so that you can do this every weekend.
Yeah. If so, just to be clear, if I do like a course.
Do I sound like Heather?
You do, yeah. If I do a course, a Yoga Nidra online course, or a Yoga Nidra online training, that
would be different.
That'll be different.
Good.
But my
I can see it.
Practices, like just a Yoga Nidra practice, that's my service. That's my offering. If I know the practice, I can do it with my eyes closed in my sleep, and I've been gifted with that practice, and that's my service, and that's how I share. And it's been really helpful for a lot of people. It's not everyone's practice, and my voice, some people really resonate with it, other people can't stand it. So the ones that
do they tell you?
Some do. They're not afraid to state their opinion.
It's good practice. They don't like your voice.
Yeah, and then others, you know, just I become their sound link, and they live on the other side of the world, and it's how they can function, you know, in their life, and that for me is that's why I'm here. You know, if I can help somebody out like that, that's.
So is that how you ended up connecting, say, to go to New Zealand?
Exactly. It's been through my YouTubes, and we just had a training in October, and it was in Bragg Creek, and it was an immersion style training, and the majority in that training I had never met, and they came because of my YouTube. Like they flew. We had one fly from the UK.
Nice.
And she flew in right on the day of the training and flew out the next day.
Nice.
Or that day when the training ended. And by a leap of faith, because she heard my YouTube, you know. So
sweet.
That's a big leap of faith.
But it is the power of what's happening right now with social media. That, you know, she found you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And she wanted what you have,
Yeah.
and that's amazing.
yeah.
You know.
And I think that's my growing edge is I feel most comfortable in a very small group in my basement, And so it took me, I'd been teaching Yoga Nidra for 10 years before I recorded my first Nidra.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 10 years to get to that point where even having my voice recorded, it felt safe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Are you okay?
so video is the next.
When we tag this, can we put your video on it?
I guess so. I'm gonna have to do some deep breathing for that. But this is my growing edge, and so getting something online. There's definitely been a request for it, and it's just me. I'm the obstacle.
Well, we want to support you in that.
Oh, thank you.
And when it's ready, we'd like to help you with the marketing of it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because there's
our audience
marketing plan on my end.
Well, our audience is really growing.
Yeah.
And they're looking for different ways to access meditation or to drop into that space, and it would be great to show them this, in your course that's yet to come. What should we call it?
The course that's yet to come.
The course that's yet to come. Awesome. You guys, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It's coming. It's a gift. Yeah. So you're a teacher in India. When you went to India, and are they still teaching and they have a school?
Yeah. So
have you been back?
So I initially was introduced to this practice from the Bihar School of Yoga, and that's they have an ashram in India in Munger, which is
north, south,
not even a speck on the map of India. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Really?
It's in the state of Bihar, so in the north.
Mm-hmm.
And people are maybe familiar with Bihar because that was the Bodhi tree, or
where the big guy got enlightened.
Where the big guy got enlightened.
Awesome.
So if you go to Bihar, that's probably why you're going. You're not.
Is the tree still there?
Yeah,
wow.
It absolutely is. Oh yeah. That's an incredible place to go to.
Really?
The whole
like a
place,
pilgrimage.
Like a pilgrimage place. Yeah.
Yes.
The whole village of it is there's a mantra. I don't know if it's Om Mani Padme Hum, but it's being chanted and vibrating through the whole village. So the whole time you're there, you're in the trance of the mantra, and it's an incredible place.
Nice.
If anyone goes there, but the tree, absolutely, I don't think anyone's going to take down that tree.
No.
Could you imagine? They wouldn't be very well liked after that. No, I don't think you touch that tree. You touch it.
Do you touch it?
You touch it, but I don't think you.
Reminds me of going to Mecca or going to Bethlehem or
it has
different pilgrimages from different beliefs.
Yeah, and it holds its energy there. So
although the Buddha said, don't make a religion around.
Don't make it a religion, but when it does, because so many people are pilgrimaging there, and that has an effect. Whether you have a belief about it or not, you go there and you're affected by that space, and you're not concerned about your bills that you're paying and all of that when you're in that space. You're being tuned in.
You drop into the moment.
The radio station is tuned in to higher consciousness when you're there.
Nice.
And so you have an effect.
So your school you went to was in that village or in that town?
Oh no.
No.
That's just if you want to go on a sightseeing tour.
Oh.
No, Munger is it's probably a good 6 to 8 hours
by train
or longer by train away from there.
But Indian trains, eh?
Yeah, so it could be delayed 8 hours, and then add on 6 or 8 for the travel. It could be a 16-hour journey
to
away.
see the tree. Yeah.
But so I went to the Bihar School of Yoga, and the ashram is called Bihar Yoga Bharati, and that is where I was first exposed to Yoga Nidra, and that's still standing, and they have international students that study there. It's a very traditional ashram. And I feel really blessed that
I can just
I was
see
able to
little tiny rooms with hard beds.
Oh yeah, very hard beds. Yeah, very simple. Not a lot of comfort there. you know, and
lining up for food.
Yeah. You know what, just on a side note, you know what's really powerful about the ashram experience is that the environment never changes, nor does the schedule. And so with that staying consistent, you have an opportunity to watch how crazy your mind is, you know, because there's nothing changing except your mind. And then you realize, because when we're here, we blame everything on everything that's changing. But then you go to an environment where nothing's changing, and you have to be with the craziness of your own thought patterns, you know, and your belief systems. So that's the power of the ashram, I would say.
Nice.
You know. Yeah.
Do you recommend India?
India's incredible. I mean, it's an incredible teacher. Yeah. It's not necessarily pleasurable. I mean, there's moments where it could be pleasurable, but it's a high teacher, a high teaching when you go there, because you're
you mean India itself, not just the ashram?
Oh yeah, India in itself. Yeah.
She's a great.
She's a teacher.
No question.
Yeah.
I love when I have Indians come to the store and I tell them, I love India. They're like,
they love it.
Yes.
They love it when you love India.
Yes.
Yeah.
India's many worlds.
Yeah.
In one country. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to describe India.
No, there's not, and everyone has such a unique experience. But I mean that's to say, wherever you go, everyone's having their own unique experience. But whatever needs to get worked out in your own karma, I think India is a heavy hitter for that. And it guides you very well of what is needed to be seen.
Nice. So one day we're going to create some more space in the back, and maybe we'll have you come and do a
Yoga Nidra.
Yes.
I'm going to write that down for you.
Thank you. Because I want to do one.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. You can listen to the YouTubes as well.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah.
And,
I don't listen to my YouTubes, but other people do.
I know, me neither. I don't listen.
I can't listen to mine.
I don't listen to any of this stuff. Sometimes I will listen to like like this, to just see what we can tag it with all the, because there's so much content that sometimes comes out, like right today with you speaking, there's so many tags to put on the post that related to. We want to post on Passage Studios. Are we in there yet? Not yet, eh? No, because we've had so many people come and speak here.
Oh yeah,
that
from there.
From there that are doing events there, and so hey, you guys, we want to.
I can put a very good word in.
Can you? Yeah, because I mean it's all like Alice's stuff and Kareen's stuff and your stuff, and should all be on their site as well.
Yeah.
And or on their page or whatever.
And I might actually be doing something with Alice before she leaves. So I think we're maybe on the 31st, January 31st, we're looking at doing something together. And
nice.
One day.
She's so busy.
She is busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she offers so much.
Yeah, she's great. We love Alice.
Me too.
Yeah, we love Alice.
Yeah.
And, I think she's going to do WUB. Have you heard of WUB?
No.
You don't know about WUB?
I don't know about WUB.
Well, so there's this guy, Paul Puzanaski. Hey, Paul. And Paul has started this thing, and it's like a one-day festival in Calgary and Edmonton, but it's around consciousness and around personal development. And Trevor's doing breath work, and Alice is going to do, I think, some yoga and probably some tantra. And
I think Corinne and Trevor collaborating.
Yes, and so it's a whole day. One in the 16th here, and the 9th in Edmonton.
Okay.
And he did one. Paul organized one in Banff at the art school.
The Banff Art Center.
Art Center in last fall, and it was amazing. I think it was successful in many ways. I don't think he made any money, but we're really supporting him. We want him to do well at it because he's got such a big heart, and he calls it WUB, like I wub you.
I love you.
I love you. You have kids. I love you too.
Yeah.
So it is, and it's a web event.
Okay.
And
wonderful.
yeah, and it's yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe we'll send you the link.
Okay, sounds good.
And and it's coming up, and those people, some of our people are at that. And
Okay.
I don't know how I got to this to that part of the
I
conversation.
can't remember either,
Yeah.
but thank you.
I'm not sure. So I think it's neat what you're doing. I think it you know, you're making a difference in people's lives, and you know, these last couple of years have been really an opportunity for us to all let go of our expectations and just follow the thread of what God or infinite intelligence has for us, and certainly been that way for me, and I'm excited that what's happening. I think what's happening in Calgary, we're coming out of maybe a time of feeling like we were a bit abused into a time of greater light. I hope, I think, I believe, and it's not related to business or politics. I think that, you know, we're some really amazing love is coming out of our some of the struggles that have happened.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and at least that's what I'm seeing. So, and you're part of that, and it's cool, and your kids are part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you chose to stay here, because it sounds like you could have maybe stayed somewhere else, or could have taken your family to Europe, or
Yeah.
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 So I'm glad you stayed.
Yeah. Thank you.
You didn't say that.
Remind me
I
that
made
again
up.
in the
After the winter.
in the strong temperature changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think yeah, Calgary definitely has its magic, and more so than, I mean, being close to the mountains is a very powerful
I think there's
spot.
like a lot of I mean, everything, of course, everything is spiritual, but I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of spiritual energy here. There's a lot of
Yeah.
something happening here.
Yeah.
And we can make up all kinds of stories about energy meridians and all that kind of stuff, but it does seem like
Yeah.
something's happening in Calgary.
It's a definitely a heightened spot,
Mhm.
and I think there's really incredible people
Mhm.
here.
Yeah,
And,
from all over.
Yeah, yeah. And I've traveled to a lot of places, and even just, I think the Calgary has quite a unique flavor than other parts of, you know,
Mhm.
and the yoga community and the meditation and the wellness community in Calgary, and just, I don't know, Calgarians are
The dance.
dance, of course.
We're
yeah,
going to
and
turn this little space for ecstatic dance too.
Mm.
Do you dance?
I do. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you come and dance ecstatically with us?
I will. Yeah. I love dancing. Yeah. I need to.
Like it's an hour and a half of, you know, just being
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
music, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and the set's well done. It can transport you
Absolutely,
into
yeah. There's so many different modalities to bring you into
the state.
the inner state.
Yep.
That's not separate, right?
That being said,
Yes.
I just want to mention that these are not meditation stools. These are transportation vehicles.
Okay. Got it.
This will skyrocket you into the fifth dimension of reality, or on reality, and
Into reality.
yeah, somewhere out there. So I have a ton of these, and I have these amazing little altars that go with them too, and so just I want to put a little plug in there.
Okay.
For,
Good. Yeah.
for all the folks that are watching us and are going to watch us. These are you can find these on our website, or you drop in the store and see us here. And I think my imagining is that if people have a space that where they meditate, where they, you know, their little sacred space, or they're more likely to do it. You know,
True. If they have the space.
if they have the space,
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
That's true.
And I think if we do it on the couch, it's called napping.
Yeah.
And this is not for everybody. Some yogis, you know, can get down on the floor and all that. Do you find it comfortable?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah?
This has been really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's it. We got lots of stuff like that. Come visit us. Oh, what else? Follow us on YouTube. And what else am I supposed to remember? Oh, it'd be great if you subscribe to us on YouTube. And check out our website and come visit us. And for sure, see what's the
Yoga
practice?
Nidra. It's had a
Be a Yoga Nidra
memorable
person.
effect on you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
We're going to link all
thank
this
you.
so that people can find you.
Okay.
and
Okay. Not too fast. Just kidding.
Hug me.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for watching. Love you.